Hello, that's awesome. Hello, Maisha. That's great. Thank you. Hello, and good afternoon, we, she. Thank you. Oh, okay, I'm going to do it all. We're doing it. We're doing this. Excellent. All right. Hello, Maisha. Good afternoon, we, she. Hello, John. Hi, Rachel. Hello, and good afternoon, Eric. Oh, wait, more people coming. Sorry, hang on one second. Okay. Okay. Back to the chat. Wait, where was I? Hello, John. Hi, Rachel. Hello, and good afternoon, Eric. Sorry if I'm repeating. Good afternoon, Andrew. Hello, and good afternoon, Athia. That's awesome. Good afternoon, Manoj. Oh, wait, more people coming. Sorry. Okay. Good afternoon, Jaylin. Hello, Lisa. Good afternoon, Aliyah. Good afternoon, Catherine. Hi, and good afternoon, Elizabeth. And please still correct me if I'm saying your name's wrong. Please do correct me in the private chat or the public chat with voice. Oh wait, more people coming. Hold on. Okay. Hi, good afternoon, Elizabeth. Good afternoon, Starnisha. Thank you for saying good afternoon to everybody. That is very human of you. That's awesome. Good afternoon, Mark. Hello, Ruby. Good afternoon, Alona. All right, who else do we got? We got a lot of people. This is awesome. And we've got a lot of videos. I see that. Sorry. It's, Alaya. Oh, that makes sense. Right. I'm sorry. Alaya, if I'm saying it right now. Or no, I'm not. I'm still not saying it right. Wait a minute. Wait. Alaya. Wait. I totally approve. Wait, I think I'm still not doing it right. The second one. Okay. Wait. Alaya. What's my problem? That's so stupid of me. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of like something else. Okay. Yes. Okay. Okay. All right. It may take me a couple more times, but I totally appreciate it, and I will get it. Alea. Okay, that makes sense. I'm thinking of like my bar mitzvah. Okay. Oh, there's more people. Okay. We're all coming. This is great. There's a lot of video. There's a lot of camera. I see. There's avatars. That's great. Hopefully you saw, and I think some of you are already seeing, I've already gotten from you. Some of you are already understanding that the minute you show video, even for a minute, you can put that down in the video portal and turn it in for points. Also now, I hadn't put in last week, I meant to, but if you even show an avatar, I can never pronounce this word either, but if you ever show even a picture or even like the J for John Ford, that totally counts for the portal that I just put in called Avatar. I don't know why I can never say that right, but you know what I'm saying. Like, and I'm not sure if it was the same number of points, but even, and I don't mean to say even like this, but like John, for example, who's got a J instead of a black box, that totally counts. It doesn't have to be a picture of his face. It's just something to distinguish him from a black box. He can fill that in, like for the portal that just went in that's called Avatar. He can like write in yes, or he can screenshot ideally, like I put in an initial for my name and then boom, I see it. I'll just put a check, give it back to him, and he's got 7 points or whatever it is. Okay, Nicholas. Okay, wait. Oh, more people coming. Sorry. All right, wait. I'm looking at the chat again. Well, it's funny. So you guys are saying hello to each other. That's new. That's awesome. And there are going to be portals for that too. There's just the portals get more and more complicated as we go. I mean, it is a game in that sense. Like once you get the hang of these participation points, portals, they do get more complicated. They will start involving others of you, but you're already, and they will involve things that I've never thought of before that you'll think of. That's the deal. That's why it's a game. But this business of you saying hello to each other, brilliant. Never seen that in the class yet. I love it. I don't get it, but I mean, I get it, but I don't get. So I'm not going to. So yes, on behalf of Maisha, hi Alona, and on behalf of Alona. Anyway, you get it. That's great. That's great. Bestie, I missed you all. That's hilarious. Oh my God. You've already done the homework together. That's great. Oh my God. I think you are the first. And yet, okay, how you get the extra points is, and so, okay, to John's question, and so hello, everybody. If I haven't said hello to you yet, in fact, wait, hang on one second. I think I said hello to Lisa, totally see the video, thank you. Hello to Elizabeth. And those of you who are wearing masks, I realize that means you're at John Jay doing this. Like, good for you. That's a whole other world. Okay, crazy. I haven't been there in a while myself. I wish I could have you in my office. I miss my office. I haven't been there in like a year and a half. I have 2 offices actually, and my lab, whatever. But if you're there, say hello to the building for me. And I guess that means you got a vaccine or a test or something. I don't even know what it's like getting into that building now, but good for you guys who are there. And if that means you're having other labs like instrumental or something or organic, good for you for that. But okay, so hello, Lisa. Hello, Elizabeth. Hello, Andrew. Hello, Rachel. Hello, Jalen. Hello, Starnisha. Hello, Leslie. Hello, Uishi. Hello, Alona. Hello, Nicholas. Hello, Zimin. Hello, Maisha. Hello, Jesse. Hello, Ruby. Hello, Athea. Hello, Catherine. Hello, Michaela. Hello, John. Hello, Manoj. Hello, Leia. Hello, I think I said it right that time, I think. Hello, Eric. Hello, Mark. And yeah, to answer, oh, more people. Hold on, hang on. And hi, yes, and you're at the school. That's great. That's great. Oh, now to answer John Ford's question, how you get the extra points? Well, so like there's portals that, like if you did, and I think you did, I think almost all of you did. If you did the game turn 1 assignment, if you did it at all, first of all, well, good. If you didn't, well, that's kind of a problem. But if you did it, good. And if you got it back with either 4 or 5 points, then I think that means you get it and you did it right and you know what's going on. And I'll explain why you might have gotten 4 points in a moment. But if you did it, then all the other game assignments are like that. Like the only difference between a game turn and any other kind of game assignments is that the game turns are literally daily, class daily things like turn 1 was from the first class, turn 2 is this second class today, turn 3 is the next class. And they are always just a daily check-in where you do have to do it by midnight of that night, because it really, once you get used to it, you see it only takes 30 seconds to do, or like 2 minutes to do. So the turns, it's your turn to do it any hour, any minute after class till midnight that night. And that's just to acknowledge any kind of way that you participated at all today, including even just saying hello in the chat. Like that is, or goodbye. Like literally that is good enough. And that's why I feel like it's fair to ask you to do it by midnight. And as long as you do it by midnight, you get the full 5 points. If you don't do it by midnight, if you do it tomorrow, you still get 4 points, but I'm not going to give you 5 points because I do want it. I am strict about that because it is meant to be just like a daily, we're checking in with each other, we're accountable to each other. If you're not in class or you don't participate at all, then you don't have to do it at all. It's fine. It's not like held against you. You just don't get the points. It's another encouragement to come to class. Now that's the turns. Now, as far as John Ford's question or anybody else's question, all the other assignments that are called a game, like game avatar, game video, game close conversation, all of those are part of the same arrangement, which is that you are acknowledging to me some particular manner in which you participated. You're getting awarded for any various different kinds of participation. It's just the catch is, and they all should take 2 seconds to do, but the catch is that it is on you to acknowledge to me and to submit for the points. Again, it's kind of like, collecting awards or like levels up or whatever in a video game. So like to John Ford's question, like for example, right now, any of you who is showing, like he's showing what I'm counting as an avatar. Again, I'm sorry, I can never pronounce that word right, but he is showing something in his box that is not just a black box. So there's a portal that's literally called a game avatar. And it just opened up 5 minutes before class, but you'll see it in the Google Classroom. All he has to do, or anybody has to do, is just open up that portal and then take a screenshot of, he has to just take a screenshot of his J that he's got and just put it in there, the screenshot, and then maybe just open up a document and just say I showed my first initial today instead of a black box. Boom, that's it. Just one sentence. And he doesn't even have to write his name or anything because that's already the portal takes care of that. And so he just submits that. And for that, since that's a special thing, since that's a special way of participating, it's not just the daily check-in, and it's something that no one has to do, but they could do at any time. That he's got till October 1st to do. He doesn't have to do it right now. He doesn't have to do it tonight. Just any time he does it before October 1st, he just submits to the game portal that says avatar, and then I see it, and I'll give him the points for that. I think it's 7 points, maybe it's 6 points. I can't remember. Similarly, all of you who are showing video right now, any of you who's showing video, do the same thing for the video portal. So I hope that answers this question. Okay, cool. Hopefully I answered the question. Let me see. And I'll go a step further now. Say John Ford, and I'm not to call on him, but just because I appreciate that he asked this question publicly, and it's a good question. So now he just asked this question, right? And again, it's not about him. I'm just using as an example. But John Ford just asked this question. It's helping me get to know him better. It's helping the whole class be a class. So a couple of things about that. he also this totally counts as his participation for the day. Like literally where he wrote the question in the chat, he can screenshot that and submit that for his game turn today, right? Or he could even submit the screenshot of his J and submit it for his turn today. In other words, double dipping is encouraged, right? He can submit that J for his just generic participation today, but also since it was an avatar, he's also going to submit it in the avatar portal. He totally can and should double dip. Like whatever you do today at all counts as your participation for today, for turn 2. And honestly, if he turned off his camera now and walked away and went and got a beer for an hour and 15 minutes for the rest of class now, I wouldn't know the difference and I wouldn't care. Like he'd miss all the material. So I would hope he would so that would be maybe dumb. And I would hope he would then watch the YouTube later to get the material, but that's on him. Like the point is he can show, you can triple dip, double dip, any participation you do, wherever it counts, it counts. Oh, so why I'm really getting at this is he asked a question. I'm trying to answer it now. If anywhere in the chat now, he meaning John Ford, if anywhere he puts in the chat now, okay, got it, thanks. Or makes sense, question answered, thank you. And I'm not being sarcastic. If he does that anywhere in the chat now to show me that I've answered his question and that it's now clear and shows me that I can shut up now and I can move on to another topic, or shows me that I'm not leaving him in the dust or confusing him or confusing the rest of you. If he just writes in the chat, got it, thank you. Then what he's done is closed a conversation. And that is another portal. You might have noticed somewhere, I don't remember if it was last week or today, I opened up a portal that says game closing a conversational loop. What I mean by that is just what I just said. Anywhere that you bring it home, where you close the loop, where you say, got it, we're good, you can move on now, Yaverbam, stop, it's enough. Hopefully you do it politely, but if you do that, that is helpful to all of us. And it makes me feel acknowledged and it makes you feel acknowledged. So if John Ford anywhere in the chat now puts got it, thanks, then he could screenshot that and he could put that in the closing a conversation portal. That means today alone, he's already gained 13 points or something of participation points. And this applies to all of you. It's not special about John. I'm just using him as an example. But the idea is just wherever you can to grab participation points. And you're not trying to trick me. It doesn't mean that you're going to keep participating all day that way. I get it. You could walk away, but it just means anything you do should be rewarded and encouraged. It also means if you never do any of these things, fine, I'm not punishing you, but you just don't get those points. And just to remind you again, all of these points, they go in the same bucket as the homework, the hard physics mathy homework, NumberLine and average speed, which is really what we have to talk about today. Obviously that homework takes more thought. It's worth more points. That homework was worth 20 points. We're going to talk about that. But all of these points that you get, they all go in the same bucket. They all accumulate over time, like Mario coins, if you care about that analogy. And the point, again, just to remind you, I tried to make this clear right at the end of class last time, but I think we got rushed. They all go into this big pile. By the end of the class, each of you is going to have hundreds and hundreds of those points. It'll vary from person to person, of course, but you'll have hundreds and hundreds of those points. At the end of the semester, I divide your pile by some scaling factor just to make it reasonable. It's the same scaling factor for all people. It's a different scaling factor each semester. It's a scaling factor designed to make sure that there are A's in the class. I mean, it's a scaling factor, I promise you, that is designed for your benefit, not for your detriment. But so at the end, just to remind you, just to be clear, because we're all getting to know each other here, just to remind you, say you have 300 points at the end of the class that have been accumulated for both quantitative problem solving, physicsy homework, plus all this class participation, self-acknowledgement homework. And the latter is probably easier to do than the former for some of you, but vice versa. They all accumulate in the same bucket. Say you have 300 points at the end. Say I divide it by the scaling factor of 30 this semester. That means you have 10 points after I divide it. That's literally 10 points that gets added to your exam average that makes for your final grade for the end of the semester. This is not an exaggeration. This is a real example. The typical person, the average person in this class, typically at the end of the semester will get, on average, 9 or 10 or 11 or 12 points added to their average. Some people get 16. Some people get 7. Obviously it depends who you are. But typically it's in the range of 10 points. It's meant to fundamentally change your grade from a B to an A. It's designed so that even if you only get B's on the exams, you could still get an A in the class. Let me also repeat, and then I'll shut up and I'll look in the chat in a second. I just want to really make this clear to everybody. Also, because it's the same exact system we use for Physics 204. So if we just get used to it now, even if it's different from other classes, it'll be true for 2 semesters for most of y'all. So the whole idea is that the converse is true as well. If you're a major test taker, if you love taking tests or you're good at tests and you hate all this nonsense, or you don't like participating in class, or you like know physics from your high school, or you just want to just like watch all my videos asynchronously and not get caught up in all this, I totally respect that as well. If you get 95s on both the exams, the midterm and the, or, you know, if you get 93s on the midterm exam and the final exam, and you rock lab and get A's in lab, okay, then you do none of this. You get none of these extra points. You're not getting docked. You're not getting zeros. You're not getting punished, and you're not getting shamed. If you get 93s on 2 exams and in the lab, you've got an A in the class, even if you didn't do 1 stitch of homework or 1 stitch of participation. Conversely, if you're bad at tests or tests stress you out, or you're struggling with the material, but you rock at all this participation and all these homeworks, then even though you got C minuses on the exams, you still might end up with a B minus or B in the class. You see what I mean? The idea is there's more than one way to get to a good grade at the end. Tons of people can get a good grade in this class. Some people won't. That's why the system is still fair and legit. But the whole idea, just to remind you, is like, I really care about participating in all of that. I do not want to shame anybody for anything they're bad at. I want to reward people for stuff that they're good at. And I want to help everybody get better at the things that they're not good at. That's the idea, just to remind you. So we're going to spend most of today starting to go over homework 1, but we're going to talk about how even if you had struggles with it already, you're going to get to resubmit it for more points. We're going to talk about all that, but we're going to get to like the mathy homework in a moment. I'm just like yammering at the top of my lungs to try to get you all used to the system of physics, or at least as we do it at John Jay. It's hopefully if it's not clear yet, it'll become more clear. When in doubt, if you think something's confusing, assume that it's meant to help you, not to confuse you. Now, okay, I'm going to pause. I'm going to look at the chat and see if I answered the questions. Okay, let me just look at the chat. Sorry. But the fact that you guys are already helping each other with the homework, seriously, I'm going to design more portals to reward that. That makes me so happy. And it is unusual. It's one of the things that bums me out the most about this remote learning and this COVID. Frankly, even before COVID, it was one of the things. I love John Jay. I'm so proud to work there. And I love working with people at John Jay. But one of the problems with John Jay, and I think your science program that you're all in at John Jay is super hard and super legit. We'll talk about that more too. I think it's in many ways harder than any program I ever went through, in many ways, not in all ways, but in many ways. And I went through some hard programs, and we'll talk about that too. But one of the biggest disadvantages at John Jay, even in ideal circumstances, even when there's no COVID, is that nobody sleeps at the college, or very few people sleep at the college, which means it's much hard. You guys don't have dorms, so it's much harder for you to collaborate in the way that people can at fancy private colleges. And it is all about collaboration. Collaboration is not cheating. Collaboration is collaboration. I went through undergrad and 2 graduate programs. I could not have survived without constantly depending on my colleagues and working with my colleagues. It's all about working with your colleagues. I'm a huge believer in that. So if you already have made your, like if you're already getting together, God bless. And I will come up with more and more portals to reward that. I mean, Quark bless, excuse me. All right, so I'm totally looking at the chat. I'm gonna pause for a second, take a breath. You're physics besties, I love it. You're also beasties, but you're besties, that's great. Yes, okay. But yeah, you are the first in that sense. Extra points, okay, yeah, I'm at the school, cool. Hello, good afternoon, you got it. Oh, okay. So to John Ford, cool follow-up. Yeah. As long as it's in the right portal and it's clear, you don't even. So John Ford asked in the thing, does he just drop a? Am I losing my? If I lose my Wi-Fi in the middle, I apologize, and I'll come right back on. Because I'm like not. I'm in the woods. Practically. If it's clear, if you're putting your stuff in the right place for these game things, you can just drop a screenshot as long as it's self-explanatory. Like, especially here, if we're talking about avatar and you're just dropping a screenshot of your avatar, yeah, you don't have to explain anything. If we're talking about the class participation portal and like you're showing me something in the chat, it's helpful if you can like blow up the chat, if you can, sort of zoom in the screenshot, or some people even somehow highlight their part in the chat or whatever. If you could sort of make it as clear and easy on me as possible, then that's helpful. But right, if it's clear, you don't have to add any words to a screenshot as long as it's clear and it's in the right portal, and you don't have to add your name or anything because that's part of the portal. So good question. LMAO, I don't even remember what you're laughing about, but good. Or you probably would notice the difference. Ha! Oh, that's what you're like. Yes, I probably would notice the difference if you came back with a beer. Well, listen, if one of you left, well, if I saw the beer, yeah, but if one of you left and went and did something illegal or did some substance and then came back, honestly, if you participate enough for me to know the difference, that's already a good sign on your part. And you're adults, you can do what you want. I mean, look, some people find physics easier to deal with that way. I mean, I don't do that stuff myself anymore, but I once did. We could talk about that, but do what you got to do. I mean, smoke them if you got them. And if I could actually notice a difference in your personality because you're under some kind of influence, honestly, that says a lot about your participation level right there. So I don't know. But okay. I'm still looking at the chat. How do I submit? Oh, this is a really great question. Okay. I mean, John's was as well. And he also had a follow-up, which is totally fair. Now that he followed up and I answered, hopefully at some point, John will tell us, or maybe I haven't seen it yet. If he says in the chat somewhere like, okay, I got it now, that's cool, you have it around, that would be great. But now and maybe he did, and I'm just not up to it yet in the chat. And if all I do today is answer chat questions, that's cool too. I mean, that just means it's more of a class and less of a lecture, so fine. Pre-she's, we're not in a rush. Let me also remind you, what you get examined on, or what you get tested on, is what we do in class. And I mean that literally. You don't get tested on what's in the book. You get tested on what we do in class, which is also why it's like really important to come to class or at least watch videos. But but that's why we go at the pace we go. And the only reason you have to cover certain material in this class, the only reason we have to get to certain material is because we need it for 204. And that's a real reason. Like, you do need certain things so that we can do 204 well. But guess who teaches 204? You know what I'm saying? So I know how to do this. So if we don't get to something today, it's okay. I mean, if I can answer questions, that's what I'm here. So if I don't worry, you don't worry, but you do have to keep up with the homework, but we'll talk about that. But so she's question, great question. She says, how do I submit for game video if I already submitted once? Great. Once you submit once, for those kind of special things, anything that's not a term, once you submit once, that's all you got to do. You get the points for that. And for now, the arrangement is there'll be another opportunity as of October 1st. I'll put up another one and you can submit again. Now, if this class really gets like super participatory, like, so right now, you can only get points for submitting once. And if you show video twice, right now, I can't quite reward you for that. But believe me, this class you guys already seem very like active, and maybe there's maybe it's your personalities, maybe there's other reasons for it, but I definitely don't want to discourage ongoing video use. So the truth of the matter is, I'm pretty sure if it keeps going like this, if people are really participating in stuff, and in fact, you can experiment with this. You can experiment. I'll tell you right now, I'm not sure, because I haven't had classes as active as you yet. I mean, each semester people get better and better, maybe because these systems are getting better too, but I believe you can experiment with this, but I believe if you already submitted for video, for example, like you already showed me in the video, I submitted video on the first day, and I already gave you the points. What I believe is you can go still back to that assignment and upload again, just like I'm going to tell you all that you definitely can do with the regular homework. Like, okay, but let me back up for a second. With the regular homework, with like the hard, problem set homework, like the harder, like number line and average speed, which of course is what we really ultimately are here to talk about. And believe me, we're going to spend more and more time talking about the actual real physics, and I will go faster and faster. And that's the stuff that will be on the exam, of course. With that stuff, I'm telling you all right now, you submit that and you're supposed to submit it on time and all that. But some of you, you won't get all the points right away on the first shot. And that's not a punishment, and that's not a shaming thing. That just says, okay, like, so it's worth 20 points, right? The very first homework. I'm going to answer Weishi's question. This is about Weishi's question ultimately, but I'm taking a little sidebar here for a moment. Excuse me. Also, let me hold on a second. On Weishi's question, sidebar, with the regular quantitative problem solving homework, you're going to find it's worth like 20 points, for example, like number line is worth 20 points. You'll submit that. You were supposed to submit it by 3:05 today. So technically, even if you submitted it earlier over the weekend, I might not have gotten to it yet because technically it's due 3:05 today. So, but I noticed if you submitted it early, totally noticed, totally appreciated. But whatever, you submitted it. Now you're going to get it back. Now, some of you are going to get like a 17 out of 20. You're going to find out why today, even if you got all the right answers, even if you know your physics, just for one reason or another, like you didn't show all your work, you might get a 17. Or conversely, by the way, some of you who didn't get any right answers might still get a 17 or 18 because you showed tons of work. Okay. But some of you are not going to get a 20 on the first shot. First of all, that does not mean you only got X percent and then it's like going into your exam average as a percent. No, no, no. It means you got 17 out of the 20 points. There's 3 left that you can still get. We're going to start going over it in class. I'm going to start telling everybody how we do the homework, what I'm looking for, blah, blah, blah. And you're going to, all of you have the opportunity to resubmit that homework to do whatever I said was missing. Like say I might have said to some of you, yes, great answer, great answer. Yes, you clearly know what you're doing, but I need you to submit a diagram at the beginning. You might not have known that. I understand. I mean, you might not have known that I wanted that. That's what I'm here to tell you today. So now you know, or you're going to see that I want you to show me what the questions are before you answer them. Even if you think I know the questions, or even if you think the questions are clear, you're going to see that I want you to show me what the questions are. So you might have lost a point for not doing that. All that's going to happen is you're going to find that out today or on the next day. And then you're just going to resubmit the homework to get the rest of the points. You're just going to correct whatever and re-upload a new document with a full new document that's even more perfect than you thought your other document was. And Google Classroom will tell you that it's late because it's like after the original deadline. And I don't care and you don't care. Okay, it's a second draft. What you did was you submitted your first draft on time, hopefully. And I saw that. And now we love each other. And now you got points for that. Now, to get the rest of the points, if you want, you're going to submit another draft. And I'm going to see it. I'll get notified. And I'll see that you corrected or you added your diagram or whatever. And I'll give you back the rest of the points. And maybe even there, you'll still have a problem. And you'll upload it again. Like in the regular homework, in other words, you have infinite time. Not infinite, but you have until I take down the link. Or until it's like toward the end of the semester and I say, now it's too late. Like we all really should have done homework 1 by now. Until we get to that point, you're going to get as many tries as you need to fix homework 1 until you get all the possible points for homework number 1. And just to be clear, I'm still haven't answered Wishi's question yet. I'm getting back to Wishi's question in a moment. But just to be clear, with like the NumberLine homework and the average speed homework, which you had to do without any instruction from me, and I know that, you were supposed to try to do a first draft without any instruction from me, because we're learning those skills together. And you're supposed to put it in, and I'm supposed to see that you tried in time, but you have as much time as you need to keep redoing it and keep redoing it until you get all the rest of the points. And that includes the fact that I'm going to start going over it today. I'm going to start giving you explanations and answers today. I won't finish. I'll keep going over it like Wednesday and keep going over it. And you're still allowed, even after I fully go over the whole thing, all of you, any of you is still allowed to upload new versions of the document to the portal and get the rest of the points. It's even possible, some of you might even have, for whatever, now I've looked and it looks like most of you did already hand in NumberLine and average speed on time. In fact, I'm probably going to personally thank you in a moment for that. Most of you did, and it's noticed and it's acknowledged, well done. Some of you didn't. Even those of you who didn't, okay, you could still wait till I go over the whole thing today or on Wednesday, and you still can hand in the thing based on everything I say in class. You can use the benefit of my instruction or our discussion in class to upload the whole thing. Now, in some of your cases, it will be late, okay? But I'm telling all of you, I want you to try first without me talking, and I will see that you did that as you're supposed to, because physics gets hard and you need to learn how to do things without. I mean, you're research scientists. You got to learn how to research on your own. You got to learn how to do what you don't know how to do, because that's what being a research scientist means. But we're in a class. So every class that I take to start going over the homework and explaining it more, okay, take the benefit of our instruction and fix the homework and re-upload it and get all the points. You can always re-upload the homework and get all the points eventually. Eventually, the homework's going to pile up enough that some of you are going to have to make the judgment call that in order to keep up, you're just going to have to live with your 17 that you got a week ago and just move on with me. Like, that's going to be your judgment call to make. But as an opportunity, all of you can get maximum score on all the homeworks eventually if you just keep trying them and uploading them. And Google Classroom will allow that if you haven't done it before. Like, you can get your 17 on a homework and you could just upload and don't remove things. Don't remove things. It's to your benefit and my benefit to see all your past drafts. And I'm seeing them anyway. So just every time you approve something, just upload the new draft and upload a new full draft, like not just the part that you corrected, but a new full draft. I'll look at that. I'll get notification. I'll look at that and I'll see like, oh, she did correct what was needed to be corrected before. This is a perfect document now. Great. And she'll get, or he'll get, or you'll get all the points. And you can just keep adding new drafts to that homework portal. That's how it works. So honestly, what I'm actually really saying is, and I still haven't answered, and I still haven't answered Wishi's question really, but almost. I'm saying, here's the odd thing. Ultimately, the quantitative problem solving homework, which is really the practice for exams and which is really the meat of the class and is really worth more points each one, like number line, average speed, what we have to get to those are worth more points, each of them. Those are the meat of the class, of course. Those, ironically, and those are harder to do. Ironically, those you have the deadlines mean for your first draft. After your first draft, you have infinite time to do those. Don't worry about deadlines. On the other hand, weirdly, the game turns. I want them on time because they take 2 seconds and they're meant to be about accountability to that day's class. So it's weird, like the easier homeworks are in a way a little bit stricter. Now, with regard to Wishi's question then, I've never tried this before, but it seems to me, since Google Classroom does allow you to just keep re-uploading new documents even after you've already gotten a score, since I do know for a fact that works, it seems to me off the top of my head, if Wishi already submitted a video or evidence of a video once and she already got the full points, I'm willing to say if it works, if she can now today, she used video again, she can upload another screenshot to that same portal, say I did video again on the second day, I'll get notification of that. And I think I can then override and give her now, say she originally got 7 points for doing that. I'm willing to give her like another 7 or something and make it 14, even though technically I think the assignment's worth 7, but I think Google Classroom will allow me to do that. And assuming it does, I have no problem doing that. It's a little bit of an experiment. We'll have to try. But I think, in other words, like, I don't mind rewarding you multiple times if you do it multiple times. That seems fair. But if that doesn't work, then I'm saying to everybody, just wait till October 1st and you'll get another opportunity to do that again. Because a lot of these things you won't do a million times. You'll just do once or twice. But so I think it's a good question. I hope I answered it. We'll see if I answered it in the chat. I'm going to go back and look at the chat now. I know speaking of that, I'm also looking at the time. Okay. And I'm going to warn you all right now. We eventually are going to be starting to talk about the actual homework today. Oh, she left and she came back. We are going to get to NumberLine today. We're not going to get that far. We're probably going to get to like the first question, and it'll be enough for me to show you what I'm looking for and how to hand in these homeworks. So it may be we're definitely not getting to homework 2 today. That's okay. Once you sort of see the style of what I'm talking about in the early parts of homework 1, it'll give you help as to, you may want to fix your homework 2 already. I'm telling you right now that all the knowledge you need to do homework 1 and homework 2 are contained in those sheets. I'm not expecting that you're basing your responses on any prior physics class. I'm not expecting that you took physics. Well, I believe many of you did take physics in high school, but that's not what I'm relying on here. I'm relying that you're using the definitions in the sheet, that you're trying your best to use the definitions in the sheets to answer the questions in the sheets. So I'm expecting that you tried homework 1 and homework 2 and handed them in. We're going to start going over them today. We are not going to get to both of them today. We're going to keep going, and we'll keep going over them Wednesday. But I will tell you this. And so after tonight, you'll probably see how you can fix things in homework 1 and homework 2, and you can re-upload. It's great. Homework 3 is still due Wednesday, even though we won't have gotten to homework 2 today. And you'll see why, because homework 3 is like a left turn. Homework 3 is much more conceptual English. It's not quantitative. For some of you, it'll be much more relaxing than homework 1 and 2. So for some of you, homework 3 will be actually annoying. But I'll tell you right now, homework 3 doesn't really have right and wrong answers. It's more like a thought experiment thing that will help us with the discussion. So you, even if you've totally found 1 and 2 totally confusing, you should still look at and try homework 3 because it's a left turn. You'll see, and it's all not an accident. Again, I've been doing this for a while, trust me. So homework 3 will be due Wednesday, even though we won't be up to it by then. And then I'm going to be catching up to you guys. I'm going to be catching up to you. All we're going to do in classes is answer questions and go over these homeworks. I will eventually close the gap with you. You'll get a catch-up night as well. Believe me. But right now, you're ahead of me trying to do homeworks and then having me catch up. That's the way it works. But every class is like this, like kind of lecture, kind of recitation, and there'll be more and more clear as we go. We're just getting used to each other now. But okay, so soon I'm going to start going over homework 1 in this class. But bear with me as I just answer questions first, and bear with me if I only get to like the first couple of questions. But I'll tell you right now, the answer to the first question in homework 1 is 21 feet. If you got 21 feet as the first answer, then you're not crazy and you're on the right page and you're doing good. All right, I'm going to look back in the chat. Oh yeah, homework 1 and homework 2 were due today. I don't think they said tomorrow. Yeah, they're due today. And that is the way, and homework 3 will be due right before class on Wednesday. If you didn't do them, you're not going to be punished, but do them. That's to all of you. But unless I'm mistaken, I believe homework 1 and homework 2 were due today. I'll check in a second, but they're always due before class. And you always try to do the homework before I talk about it. That's sort of the procedure of physics. But all right, for the speak now forever hold your chat. Oh yeah, great question. Jesse's question to everyone for the speak now forever hold your chat. Clearly, your question shows that you clearly understand the point of the thing. It is just to show that you talked somehow. And for there, you could do it the way that Jesse's saying. Could you submit a video of you saying what you said? Or frankly, you can even write down, you can just write, you can open up a document, in the Google Classroom, and you can just write, I used my voice to ask, what's the deal with homework 3? I'll remember. You're not, in these game assignment things, you don't always have to prove anything. It's more that you're just reminding me. And I have a good memory for this kind of thing, as long as and you're also just showing that and you're submitting for the points. If you used your voice to ask something and you just remind me and you say anything, I'll remember that you're telling me the truth, really. And also, when in doubt, I'll trust that you're telling me the truth. Like Rick, if you lie all the time at things like this, it's going to catch up to you. Believe me, I'll know. So you don't have to prove. So the screenshots are helpful because they just make it easier, but none of this is about proving. It's about you reminding or indicating somehow. So if you can upload a video of you talking, great, but that's complicated for some people. And sometimes they're hard for me to play. If you just remember what you said and you just type it out, I'll believe, and you don't have to do the exact words. It's not a courtroom, honestly, to everybody. I mean, it's a great question, Jesse's question. And if I answered it, and if she puts in the chat, you answered it, she could submit that in closing conversation in there too. She could put a screenshot, or she could even just say in closing conversation, she could say, I'm the one that asked you about the speak now video thing. And then I said, thanks when we were over. I'll know she's telling the truth, believe me. And I'll know when people are lying, believe. You'll see that. It's not about proving. It's about reminding me, and it's about making sure you get your points, because I'm not going to give you the points unless you tell me for 1,000 reasons. I can't. I mean, I need like the Google Classroom, like communication in order to give you the points. So I hope that makes sense. When in doubt, the benefit of doubt goes to you guys. I trust until otherwise. And if you say, I had to go to the doctor last Wednesday, I believe you. I don't need a doctor's note. I believe you more than I believe doctors, okay? But if every day you're bringing me a doctor's note, every day you have a doctor's note and says, yesterday I had a sneeze, like I had the sniffles. The day before I lost my blankie. The day before I was taking care of my teddy bear. Like, I don't care how many doctor's notes you have, then it's just like a bad pattern and we're in a bad place. You see what I'm saying? It is about the spirit of the law, not the letter of the law in all of these cases. I trust you until I have reason not to. Okay. Oh, yeah. I'm going to get you in trouble. Okay, cool. I don't even know what I'm saying. Cool. All right, great. You're in the library. I'm glad the library is open. I'm glad you're like, no, this is entertaining. All good. Like, this has got to be as human as we can make it, people. Like, COVID sucks. Have I mentioned? Okay. But I do mean it. Okay, wait, please. Okay. All right. Yeah. Don't do something illegal in the library. I have friends who work in the library. Don't get me in trouble. Okay. They're teaching us how to get away with it. Yeah. No, I have a lot. as we get to know each other better and as we get rolling in the physics, I don't want to wait any of you to think I'm wasting your time. I want you to get your tuition worth. So I want to get to the physics. But as we have 2 semesters to get to know each other. I got stories and things to say about what is cheating and what's not cheating. You'd be amazed how much I think is not cheating. If that makes, there's a lot that you can do in this class that I will not call cheating. There's also things that you're used to doing that I think are cheating. We'll talk about that. But yeah, it's not about rules. It's about doing the right thing. This is my favorite. Oh, cool. Okay, great. I'm psyched. I'm reading the chat. You probably can't see what chat I'm up to, but thank you, Nicholas. That's very, okay. I'm going to open up a portal for effective ass kissing. No, I didn't say that, but like, I appreciate the compliments, whether they're true or false. Yes, and yes, you can still submit. Okay, I'm looking at a private chat. Listen, homework 1 and 2 were due today, but please, yes, you can submit them. I'm serious to everybody. And you won't even be docked point. First of all, we're getting to know each other right now. I need you to understand it is still like I'm trying to get you guys to understand my systems. We're still figuring them out. No one has done anything wrong yet that they're going to be punished for. It's like this. If you didn't submit homework 1 and 2, you absolutely can and should still submit them. And I'm telling you right now, you're not going to be docked for lateness. You're not yet. I mean, we're not up to that point yet. But those of you who did submit them, I'm about to thank you publicly in a minute. I know you did, and I recognize that you are on time. So you're just like on that, even that stronger footing. There's no shame. There are no punishments. There are only rewards, if that makes sense. No, but please, it is never too late to do the homework until it is. Like all of you. And it's never too late to read your homework. If you didn't do the homework yet, just please do it. And you are not going to be marked late. Like I'm serious, all of you. And if there was a problem in the homework and you have to resubmit, there are deadlines for a reason to keep up, because the class will get faster and faster. It will. And 204 goes very fast. It does. So you want to stay with things. That's the point of the deadlines. But really, like I haven't graded homework 1 and homework 2 yet, because in theory, they just came in at 3:05 today. So if you turn them in at 11 o'clock tonight, they're going in the same pile with everybody else's for me to grade. I mean, yes, Google Classroom will say it's late, and I'll notice that. Okay, so that's karmically annoying to both of us. But yes, if you haven't done the homework yet, please just do it. And also understand that I understand that you didn't understand, because we're just getting to know each other now. I'm yelling. I don't mean to yell. Okay, wait. Okay. Did I? And if you did not get the right answers, that's the last concern. Believe me, if you did homework 1 and homework 2, but you did it and you submitted it, but every answer is wrong, that is better than waiting until you're sure that every answer is right in order to do it. And that is really true. I'll almost be happy if I see it. Not only is it possible to get full credit on a homework where every answer is wrong, and I mean that, not on the exam, but on a homework, not only is it possible to get full, if you do all the instructions that I'm going to tell you, if you follow all the procedures of process and technique, and you circle all your answers, like you commit to answers, and they have units and stuff, but every single one of them is wrong, not only can you still get full credit, like all 20 points, but in fact, you will have my deep respect and affection, and you'll be like, those 20 points aren't a concession. They're like an embrace. And I'll tell you why. Because one of the big lessons that I do want to teach everybody in this class, one of the big points, and this is a weed out class, as we know. Gen Chem was a weed out class. Like every stage in forensic science is a weed out class, or it's a transition class to the next level. One of the things you guys are here to learn with me is how to be okay with making mistakes in public, because that is what science really is about. Science is about experimentation, and that does not just begin and end with the laboratory. I'm serious about this. We have to learn how to publicly experiment. That means try things. That means willing to get bad results. That means make mistakes. That means screw things up. We have to learn to be okay with committing to something that turns out to be wrong. We have to learn how to be okay with writing things down on a piece of paper that's either for our own journal or for someone else to see that is wrong. The more we can all get comfortable with being wrong in public, the righter we are in the long run. It is like, again, like a video game, if you don't mind. And I used to hate video games when I was, whatever. I used to be against video games when my older son was young. Now I'm totally pro video games that my younger son is like. Everybody evolves. And if you don't like video games, I don't mean to alienate you. But if you have any interest in video games at all, which I now do, it's like video game, or it's like any games, any sports. You cannot win frequently unless you get comfortable with losing first. You know what I'm saying? Right? You just don't become a champion of soccer unless you play enough soccer to sometimes lose and be okay with it. Or, you know, they also say, like, if every time you go to the weightlifting gym or whatever, which clearly I never do, or like whatever, you know, every time you go to practice violin or every time you go to the yoga studio or whatever it is you people do, if every single time you go to the gym, you enjoy it, you are not going to the gym enough, right? You know what I'm saying? If every time you play soccer, you win, you are not playing with the right people and you are not playing enough. Same thing with science. If every time you do the homework, you get it all right, something is off. So definitely it's okay. The point of the homework is to get it wrong. That's why you got to do it before I talk about it, because you got to get used to doing things that you don't know how to do when you first do them. That's what research is. You can't, by definition, doing scientific research means doing stuff that no one's done before. There's no knowledge of how to do them. You got to, you know, like carve the path, right? So yeah, anybody who just said, who was it? Rachel, totally. I want to open up a point to give her. She totally gets points for saying that. If she definitely did not get all the right answers, but she turned it in anyway, she's doing the right thing. That is what it's about, for real. Ultimately, you want to get the right answers on exams, but that's why we do all the homework this way. Okay, I'm going to keep going through the chat. If I never get to anything, then so be it. So then we just, yeah. So what Rachel said. So then do we just redo those problems and send it in correctly if you don't get all the same points? Yes, for one thing. So sorry, and I'm assuming you all can see the public chat. I'm not going to always read it all. But Rachel's question, do we all just redo those problems and send it in correctly if you don't get all the same points? Absolutely yes, but one qualification. Like, let me be clear about this. Say you turned in homework 1 and then you get it back and you got a 17, which is probably not because you got 3 answers wrong, but probably because you skipped 3 steps of a procedure that I want you to do or something, like you'll see. So then yes, you just redo with the correct procedure and resubmit. But the one thing is you got to resubmit the whole document again. I don't care if you just like in other words, if you have a 5-page document and everything was perfect on pages 1 through 4, but page 5 was a mess or had a lot of blanks or something, so you have to fix page 5, right? What I'm just saying is don't just resubmit page 5 to me. Just do a new page 5 and reattach it to the other good pages, like in the back, you know, just make a new document that still includes all the other good pages. Whether or not it includes my comments, it is, don't worry. I mean, if you can, that's great. But just whatever was already good, still re-include the good stuff. And now, attach the corrected stuff. So in other words, every time you re-upload an independently complete document. The standard always is, give me your most recent document that you ever upload should always be something that I can just open up, go from beginning to end without looking at anything else. Like ideally, you're giving me something that I can go from beginning to end without looking at anything else, including any of your past revisions, even though I see that they're there and I'm like, what a good person. Look at how hard they're working. But without looking at your past revisions, without looking at my assignment itself, I can just take your document, or I could give it to someone who knows physics, but isn't involved in our conversation, just someone who knows physics, or like, Professor Walters or Professor Wu or whatever. And they could just go through from beginning to me like, yep, okay, that's the question. Oh, and that's their work. Oh, that's the answer. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's the question. Oh, that's their work. That's the answer. Oh, that's correct. Oh, that's correct. And you should be able to get 100. If you want all the points, your most recent document should be something that earns all the points. So the only thing I'm saying to Rachel is absolutely yes, and to everybody, absolutely yes. Whatever you just correct and re-upload, and then you'll get the rest of the points. But please upload a complete thing. Don't just never upload fragments, please. Just always give me your most recent thing. Should be something that I can take on its own terms. You'll see more and more that is. You want to pretend that each one of these homework assignments is like a mini journal article that you're practicing submitting. I mean, a little article that you're trying to submit to a journal, right? And like, even though it's an assignment from me, journals also give assignments. You want it to stand on its own. Like, you don't want us to have to read anything else in order to read your journal article. So in your article, you're like, you give the facts, you give a diagram, and you give question 1, like, all right, given this person who's walking back and forth on a number line, find the total distance. And then you show how to find the total distance, and then you get the total distance and you circle it, right? Everything should be self-contained. That's the idea, because you're practicing for doing research or for doing physics proofs. Every homework assignment is like a mini proof on its own that you're giving me. I shouldn't have to refer to anything else in order to evaluate it. And the more your homework looks like that, the more you'll realize it's no longer looking just like some teacher-student conversation. The more it's just standing on its own as solid, independently interesting and correct physics. That's the goal. But okay, okay, so that was Rage. Okay, yeah. Then Nicholas, I'm not falling for that trap. I'm not falling for that trap. Every time I'm confident, I don't even get a 50. I think that's good. Or funny, or both. I think I agree with Nicholas. Or yeah, don't be overconfident. I mean, be confident in, well, maybe I'm not trying to understand what Nicholas is saying. I want you guys to be confident enough in yourself to be willing to be publicly wrong about something and still be standing with it. I want you to be able to take being, you'll see there'll be portals about this too. But I don't want you to be overly confident in that all your answers are correct or your knowledge of physics. I'll tell you this, my experience, and again, if I didn't tell you, I've been teaching this level of physics since 1992. I mean, I don't mean that to brag, but I kind of do actually. I mean, I've been teaching this level of physics for what now, like 28 years. Like that's longer than some of you have been alive. Okay. And in my experience, one thing I found is people that have passed classes in physics before they come here often have a much bigger disadvantage than people who don't. People who come in with too much cockiness or too much swagger or too much like, I've been there, done that, I've seen physics before, that is often a disadvantage. So, I mean, I'm not sure if this is agreeing with what Nicholas is saying, but I don't want anybody to be overconfident of their background knowledge. It ain't about that. It's about intelligence and wisdom. I want you to be confident in yourself enough to know that you'll be okay, even if you get things wrong. And so will I. Like, that's what it's about. That's how you get super smart and super wise. But tons of you are smarter than I am already and super more wise than I am already. Tons of you. And tons of you know more physics than others. But I know a lot of physics and I've been doing it for a long time. And I'm telling you, it's not about the knowledge that you have. It's about the attitude that you have toward the new knowledge that comes to the situation. So anyway, I don't know if that was helpful to what Nicholas said or if he was just joking. But anyway, and Jessica did it. Oh, yeah. If you guys haven't made a group chat, please do. I'll just leave that to you guys. But Jessica's question, I hope you do have a group. But it sounds like some people already have helped each other with the homework. So please do make a group chat. Okay, I'm telling you, this is turning into like a freaking podcast. I'm going to try to get to the chat so I can start getting to the, oh my God, this ends at, oh, we have a little time. All right. This entire, save me. Oh, good. I'm going to take what Athea said as a serious remark. And I hope it, like, I don't want anybody to cry, but I am here to help you not cry. Physics can make people cry. Physics has broken me on a number of occasions, but it doesn't need to. That's not what we're here for. We're here to build people back up. And by the way, I know forensic science has made a bunch of you cry in the past. We are not here to do that. We're here to give you material that's harder than some material you've ever seen before, but to make it easier for you to manage it. Honestly. So I appreciate what Athea is saying. I hope she's serious. And I mean every word. And if you talk to people that have taken this class before, a lot of people get A's, a lot. It is very possible to get an A, even if you've never done physics before, even if you think your math is piss poor, even if you've been crying your way through forensic science, it's possible to get an A here, and in more than one way. And one of the reasons, and if you get an A, it is not a gift. It is not because I'm doing charity. It is not because I'm a softie. But again, I have 2 children, all right? I'm too old to be a softie. It is because some people won't get an A in this class. Some people will get an F or a D. There are standards, and there are some people that are going to fall below them, but it's because they didn't do anything, or it's because they have other life circumstances going on that made it too difficult, and they have to take it again. If you do what you need to do, you will learn in this class, and you will very potentially get an A. So I hope people are not crying. I do mean what I'm saying. If you talk to past people, you'll probably say, oh yeah, we got an A, like, depending on who you talk to. Okay, well, still, oh, good. Group chat, good. Okay. Thank you. All right, I appreciate it, Athea. And it goes both ways. Thank you for saying such nice things. I hope it stays that way. I'm not trying to kiss your butt. I mean, but again, though, to everybody, I've been in school for a long time. I mean, I both as a student, as a teacher. I love physics and science. I do not love the way physics and science are done in school. I find school very stressful. This is here to be a department, and I've been in a lot of different schools, I might add, a lot. I've been in some very hippy-dippy places that don't even give grades at all. And I've been in some places that are like, whoo, like boarding schools, both, where grades were everything. And it was boarding schools. So it was like, oh my God. And I have strong opinions, but I really believe in intensity. And I wouldn't be here if I hadn't worked very hard in school and taken a lot of school. Like I wouldn't have this job that I feel very fortunate to have, very fortunate to have. I had to work hard in school. I've done a lot of school. I've accomplished some things for sure. And if you look on Amazon, you'll see that. But I found school miserable at times and stupid. And a lot of times teachers are trying to make you suffer for reasons that are just about their ego, and it's stupid and it gets in the way. So I mean, I am here to provide a different approach, and I do mean it. But okay, I'm going to stop. But I mean it. So thank you. I mean, hopefully you'll find that. And it's going to get hard. The material is going to get hard. We're not going to just like talk like this every day. For those of you who are like, yeah, get on with it. Yeah, like, believe me, we're going to get on with it. But it should be about the substance. It should be about how hard nature already is. No harder than that. Okay, anyway, whatever. Okay. Should we upload the new version of game assignment? Yeah, there should be for the game, for game turn 2 should, and please someone confirm, should already be in your portals, excuse me, in your Google Classroom thing. Game turn should already be available, and that game turn 2, you should please resubmit, or you should submit at any point before midnight tonight. You could submit it right now while we're talking. That's fine. And the other game things, you have any one of them, video, avatar, all those, you have until October 1st if they apply, and you do whatever ones do apply. And if they don't apply, don't do them. But yeah, for the game turn 2, it's due midnight tonight, and then turn 3 will be due midnight Wednesday. Like, you know, I'll put in a new thing Wednesday, etc. Okay, anyone need a WhatsApp link? Ruby was great enough to make it. It's cool. Okay. Okay, hold on. I'm just quick private chat. I'm just responding to. All good. Hold on. Again, with the homework, if right now, if you submit something, Google Classroom will say that it's late. And yes, I'll notice that Google Classroom saying it's late, but that's your big punishment right there. That's it. You're getting all the points as everybody else. It's just that people that did it early, I know they did it or on time. That's the only difference. If you did it late, Google Classroom says it's late. You can give me the reason, then I know the reason, and that's as far as it's going. Okay. I mean, to all of you. In fact, in a minute. Okay. All right. Okay. Yes. All right. I'm back to. Wait, okay, I'm back to the chat. And soon, wait, okay, hold on, let me just check the time. This class goes to 4:20, right? Okay, I may have to cut off the chat at some point. I would like to at least get rolling on NumberLine so you see. In fact, speaking of which, well, at least let me, okay. That's just a reminder, that screen change is just a reminder that I've got to get at least rolling on NumberLine before we run out of time. But these are all very, very fair, good questions. And again, all of these questions count as participation. You know, you can submit them. But let me see. But hold on. Wait. Wait. I don't know if you don't care. Hold on, I'm trying to read the chat. I accidentally uploaded the problem set PDF. Is that my actual work the first time? Yeah, right. Just re-upload. If there's a mistake, just re-upload. No problem. Well, actually, physics. I'm sure. So all homeworks are graded on completion over accurate. Maisha's question, great question. Homework 3, homework 2, homework 1, they're all graded on completion, not accuracy. Now you have to like accurately follow my instructions, which like you can lose points, like, or not lose points. It is possible not to get a perfect score the first time on homework. You'll see that as we go. But again, number 1, you can always correct and get all the rest of the points. But number 2, right, all of the homeworks are not about accurate final answers. They're about following procedures and processes. We are here to learn how to do physics research, which means learning how to do what we don't know how to do. In fact, I put a sheet about that in the tools thing, which we'll talk about. But we're here to know how to do what to do when we don't know what to do, like for real. So on homework, I don't grade you for correct answers. I grade you for, did you do the correct thing to try to get answers when you don't know what to do? And that becomes more and more important because look, and especially those of you who have taken physics in high school or AP physics or something, I'm sure, or if you've taken Gen Chem or anything, I'm sure you've had the experience in the science class where you get a homework, or maybe had the experience with homework one where you get the homework and you're like, wait, I don't even know what he's asking here. Like, I have no idea what to do. He didn't explain this in class. Like, he didn't say anything about this. I don't know what to do. Yes, welcome to the world of scientific research. When you first get a question, you often don't know what to do. And I'm not telling you what to do because I'm trying to teach you what to do when you don't know what to do. So what I'm telling you is procedures to do when you don't know what to do. They include writing down the question. Like when you, because and we'll talk more about this, but people always, they look at the homework, especially in physics, more and more. You'll look at the homework and you're like, dude, you didn't explain this at all. I don't even know what you're asking here, right? Or people will frequently say, I have no idea what to do. Okay, that is a lie. It feels like you have no idea what to do, but what that usually means when people say, I have no idea what to do, what it usually means is, I have a couple ideas banging around in my head as to what to do, but they both seem very wrong to me, and I don't want to do anything wrong. We got to get over that. The first thing you do when you get a question in physics is, in your own words, you write down the question. People don't like to do that because it seems silly. It's not silly. It's the first step towards getting to know what to do. You write down the question in your own words. And as you do that, you start realizing, oh, the reason I don't understand this question is I don't understand that word, velocity. So then what you do is you look up the freaking word, right? Et cetera, et cetera. Like there are steps to get yourself from having no idea to having an idea. They are the steps that I'm here to teach. It's actually what physics is about, is problem solving, which means actually solving problems when you don't know how to solve them. So by the way, to answer another question I saw in the chat, if you have questions about this homework, absolutely you can email me. Yes, you can also text me. And if you can make the question really concise, it's better to text me. If you can be like, can I use a negative sign here? Yes or no? Text me. I'll text you back fast. If it's a more open-minded question, email me. But the more broad and open-minded the question is, the less it's going to help you. You can definitely email me questions about these homeworks, but the more you work on making the question take me less time to answer, the more you will help yourself. And you'll see that in the sheet, knowing what to do. Yes, you can email me questions about this homeworks. You should. Yes, you can text me. But try to make your email questions like text questions. Make your questions take you more time to ask than they'll make me answer. That's how to use office hours too. Take some time to construct your questions so you can just have a mini bang bang, like, professor, should I do this? Yes. Professor, should I do that? No. Professor, is it A or B? It's B. Like the more you can do, and some people really use office hours well, and some people really use email well. Use me that way, yes. But if you just type to me, how do I do question one? If you type me an email that says, I'm confused on homework one, you are not using your time or my time well, right? Don't say, I'm not going to be rude about it, but if you send me that email, I'm not going to be that helpful about it. I'm going to be like, can you specify your question? Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, please ask me for help, but work on helping me help you with the help question. And the more you do that, the more you'll learn how to help yourself. But anyway, all right. Oh my God, I've got to get, okay. So, okay, I think I answered. I hope I answered Maisha's question again. If you asked the question in chat and I did answer it, write in the chat you answered it, and then submit that for points. You'll get points for telling me that you, so I don't feel like I'm just like spinning everybody's wheels right now. So what was due today was homework 1 and 2. They were due today. Unless I'm mistaken, and someone should confirm, I believe they were due at 3:05. I didn't really teach you how to do them yet, and I haven't really gone over them yet. So if you didn't do them, like submit them, but they were technically due at 3:05. They were. Thank you. Thank you. Cool. I'm finally catching up. All right, cool. Wait, it showed you that it was due tomorrow. Well, yesterday it was due tomorrow. I mean, yesterday it was due. Well, but if it said tomorrow, that might have been physics 2. I'll check again. I think they're due today, but yes, either way, if it's my bad, I'll know it. I'll find out. But yes, they were due today. And if they're late, it's cool. It's cool. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, thank you. Great. Okay. One second. Just okay. Okay. So I think yeah, so when you resubmit, always leave the old documents. Don't remove any documents, leave them. If nothing else, it's a paper trail of how hard you're working in the class. You want me to see that. You know what I'm saying? Just always just keep re-uploading, and I'll always look at your most recent thing, but I'll see the paper trail, and it's just good for you and me. Am I losing? Wait, sorry. Can you email? But yes, you can email me about average speed homework. Yes. Just try to make your questions really specific. Fax, no printer. I'm not sure I get that, but okay. Oh, fax, no. Oh, that's funny. I think I just got that. Like facts. I never heard that. That's funny. I think I get it. Thank God I have a 17-year-old son. Otherwise, I wouldn't understand anything. If we were in person, oh, that's so nice. That's very nice of you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Rachel. Okay, cool. Whole document. Yeah. All the questions again, please. Yes. John Ford. Cool. Okay, got you. Thank you, Rachel. So you have to. Yeah. So I think I answered Jessica's question. If you resubmit, you add another document. Leave the other one. Yes. Shall we? Now the video, not required. Video not required. None of the game things are required. First of all, really nothing is required besides exams. Honestly, in a way, all of this is like extra credit if you want to think of it that way. Nothing's required, but especially all the game things, they're not required, and they're certainly not required, except for the turns. They're not required. Things like videos. If you want the points, you have until October 1st to submit them. And if you don't want the points, just don't submit them. But okay, hopefully that crying over chemistry. Oh yeah, chemistry is a rite of passage. Absolutely. I could barely pass. Dude, there's so many classes that you people take in this major that I could barely pass, believe me. And I've worked a lot with Professor Sheehan. I love the man, totally respect him. I couldn't pass his classes in my life. And I know some chemistry. Okay, caught on your birthday. That sucks. Okay, Canva. Okay, bio, I definitely couldn't pass, but that's my problem. Oh, gotcha. Okay, thank you. Okay, and if you said you answered it, whether you said it in a direct chat or public chat, thank you for saying so. Totally submit that for closing a conversation. I totally appreciate it. Good, I answered everything. Good. Thank you. Good. Okay, we're actually caught up. Great. Now, I know we have limited time, but I really appreciate all this. Hopefully this is helping everybody. And if it's lifting anybody's spirits, that's cool. It's partly what I'm here for. Let me quickly, I'm going to just say this right now, again, just to reinforce. If you did not hand in the homework yet, say homework 1. If you didn't hand it in, no worries, hand it in. You're going to get all the points. You're not going to get docked for points. The worst punishment you're getting is that Google Classroom is going to say that it was late, and that's it. Like, that's the end of it. On the other hand, I'll just say right now, so I'm never going to shame anybody for late or anything, but I will say it is clear, like, please take this the right way. Thank you, Maisha. Thank you, Jaylyn. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Michaela. Thank you, Ruby. Thank you, Alona. Thank you, Althea. Thank you, Alyssa. Thank you, Nicholas. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Manoj. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Starnisha. Thank you, Wishi. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Woo. I believe all of you. I think I got the thing in time before class. I'm just thank you. I don't know any other names. I'm not thinking of names that I didn't get. I'm just saying to those people, thank you. Acknowledged. Okay, acknowledged. Like, good work. Like, we're on the same page. Everybody else, no problem. Like, for reals, no problem. All right, now, like, seriously. And that's just the way it is. I'm going to constantly try to give every kind of reward and acknowledgement anytime I see anything that's good, and anything that's not good, I just don't see. Okay. Honestly, last video game analogy, sorry, and I apologize for it, but all this game stuff, all these game points and whatnot, they're modeled after, forgive this, but if you happen to play, if you have a Nintendo Switch or any kind of Nintendo, you'll know what I'm about to say. And if not, don't worry about it. But all the game points are modeled after like Nook Miles in Animal Crossing. You know, like those of you who know what I'm talking about, like Nook Miles, they just like, you get miles for doing this, you get miles for doing that, and then you get miles for getting miles, right? It's like, they just like reward points for like nice things that they want you to keep doing, and you get miles for checking in with the game every day, right? Or checking in at the stupid Nook stop or whatever. And it's like almost ridiculous. They just give you miles for doing things that they want you to do to play the game better. That's what we're doing here. Just you get points for anything that any kind of behavior that I want to reward and re-encourage. It's like Nook Miles, if that helps. Okay, 4:13, we have 7 minutes, I believe. So let's get to some physics here. Okay, so what we are doing, homework number 1, NumberLine, is our first homework assignment. That's the introduction to our first chapter in physics, known as 1D kinematics. The first topic that again, some of you may have seen this in high school, some of you would not. The first topic that we're doing in physics is called 1D kinematics. If you were to look it up in the official textbook, it would be chapter 2 in that textbook. If you want to look up online or do any reading, the topic that we're dealing with is called 1D kinematics. And soon what we're getting to are called the 1D kinematics equations, the constant acceleration equations. Like, so if you want to look things up, that's what we're doing right now. And that's what NumberLine specifically is meant to be about. Let me give you a little background. Kinematics. So hopefully you can see my notes right now. And hopefully you're taking notes, even though you're seeing this. Okay. And by the way, even taking a screenshot of your own notes is a way of participating. I'll open up a portal for that and you can like send that. But anyway, do take notes, even though I write things down, because it's good for you. So you'll see here, I'm saying kinematics, the word means motion, means a study of motion. Okay. And 1D means one dimensional. Let's talk about that for a second first. One dimensional. You all know a dimension is a line or an axis of space. Specifically, a dimension really is a line in space. Another way of putting, and right now, we are just going to look at motion in a line. Everything we talk about until further notice in this class is assuming that we only have a line within which to work. Like we're going to assume that we're like a bug on the edge of a meter stick, just going back and forth, or like that instructor on the number line at the front of class. We are assuming, not because we think the world is really that way, but we think it's a building block piece, ingredient of the world. What we think is that space consists of 3 dimensions and time consists of 1. And we think that if we really know what's going on in 1 dimension, well, we think all dimensions are the same. That's why they're all called dimensions. So we believe that if we really understand 1 dimension, then we will immediately understand any of the 3 dimensions. And then all we'll need is some kind of technique for putting dimensions together called vectors, and we'll have the whole world. So we build things in pieces. It's not because we're lying. We're not saying the world is one-dimensional. We're looking at one piece of it first. So everything we assume right now is going to be within 1 dimension, or what physicists call, what you see in the red there, 1 degree of freedom. Another word or term for a dimension is a degree of freedom. That means a choice. When you're in 1 dimension of space, what that really means is you have 1 type of freedom. You have 1 choice you can make at any given moment. You can either go forward or backward, or you want to say north or south, or left or right, whatever you want to call it. It's 1 choice you can make at any given moment. That's what a dimension is 1 choice that you can make directionally at any moment. Mathematically, the easiest way to designate that is with positives and negative signs. So from here on in, we're going to picture a number line that has a 0 somewhere that we designate, has all positive numbers on one side, whatever side we want, all negative numbers on the other side, whatever side we want, up to us. But then we make that choice, we make it clear, we draw a diagram, and then we stick with that choice. Physics is about making choices and then being consistent with them. So we're going to be in 1 degree of freedom until further notice. Now, kinematics means motion, but I got to tell you that all of physics is actually about motion. All of physics is about the study of things in space and time. Physics is not easy, but it is simple. It consists of 3 concerns: things, space, and time. That is what physics is. In fact, it's not a coincidence if you think, so I'm paraphrasing what's on the notes here. All of physics is just about how things move, things change their coordinates in space and time. It's not a coincidence that all of the units that we ever use to measure anything in science, but particularly in physics, all come down to the SI units, or what we sometimes call the MKS units, right? We got kilograms, meters, and seconds, because we got stuff in space and time. That's all we got to work with here in physics. It's not easy, but it is simple, okay? All we're ever asking really is, where is something going to be when? That's all of physics, all of it, forever. Kinematics, I know I'm going a little fast now because I just got 2 minutes. Again, remember, I'm going to upload these notes to Google Classroom and I'm going to post a video. So if I'm going a little fast right now, I apologize. I'm going to the next page. Kinematics itself, when we say kinematics is about motion, it's a little misleading because everything is about motion in physics. But specifically kinematics, the first chapter, this first sheet, is where we define the terms of motion. Okay, so everything on this sheet is about giving definitions and then applying them. Okay, it's not about experimental or observational data yet. It's about definitions. Okay, I'm going to go fast for a second. Again, I know I'm going to turn the page faster than maybe you can write this down, but just all you have to write right here is what we're doing now in these first homeworks is defining terms. It's also why I can expect you to try the homework without me saying much, because I gave you the definitions in the sheet, and that's all it's about, is applying those definitions. I'm going to tell you one quick thing. I know I'm going fast. I got one more minute. There's two types of equals in physics, two types, and for the rest of our life. There's regular equal sign, double equal sign, which means equal by discovery, circumstance, outcome, finding, whatever, typical equals. But if we ever use a triple equal sign, that means equal by definition. That means we define like average velocity, triple equal sign, displacement over time. We didn't discover that in the lab. So that means we can never undiscover it in the lab. It means it'll never be wrong. It's just a decision we're making about language. And it means it's 100% correct. So it's a stronger type of equality. It's the type of equality that we're dealing with in the sheet. Now, I got 1 minute left. I know I'm going fast, but just to go to the sheet, here's an example of how you're going to submit the homework, whether you did or did not. If you lost points at all, or if you lose points, and I see it's 4:20, I'm about to stop. And if you have to go right now, then go. No harm, no foul. And when I say I'm stopping, I mean I'll stop and I'll answer any questions. But I do want to say to everybody right now, when you hand in the homework, remember, you're handing in a separate set of sheets of your own. You have to give me all the information that was in the homework in your own way. So you're going to give me the facts at the top. If you didn't already, then re-upload. You're going to give me the facts in your own words. Like there's an object on a number line, start to position 4. You give me a diagram, see like this. Oh, have a great day. Goodbye, goodbye. Yes, you have to go, 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 go. But I'm about to wrap up within 30 seconds. And then I'm just going to stop if there are any questions. But go, if you got to go, 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 go. And remember, you'll get this video, you'll get the notes. But I'm just saying right here, when you turn in the homework to me, even if you already did, you first give me the facts that I already gave you on the sheet. You're not writing it on the sheet, you're writing it on a separate, but you got to give me something that I can read on its own without having to consult the sheet. And you got to show me that you understand the facts in question. So you give me your own diagram, you give me your own words, like I did right here. And then when you go to solve the first question, again, if you have to go now, go. But look at this. This is an example. Right here is an example of how I did question 1. Again, if you got to go, you'll see it in the notes. But notice question 1, the answer is 21 feet. Most of you probably got it without much thought and probably got it right. I don't just want the answer. I want to see the question. The question is, what's the total distance for that full experiment or whatever? And I want to see work. We'll talk more about, and work means start with a general principle of definition, then apply it to the particular numbers at hand. See how much work I did for something super easy? The easier it is, the more you should show more work, because then you learn how to do the work for the hard stuff. Okay, yes, have a nice day, have a nice day. Sorry to go, I'm just about done, I promise. But please notice that this is the kind of thing I'm looking for question 1. Even if you can do the answer in your head, I don't care. I want to see the question, I want to see the work. And if I ever write on your homework, and this is my last thing I'm going to say, if I write WIQ anywhere on your homework, it means, what is the question? You've got to give me the question before you answer it, even though I know it. It's not the point. You got to show me you know it, because that's a tactic for you teaching yourself how to get yourself out of questions that are hard once they become too hard to do. Okay, so that's it. That's all I got. I'm done. Thank you guys so much, but I'm going to wait to make sure there's no questions or anything, but thank you so much.
I have a quick question.
Bye. Okay, yes, question, go.
I noticed in the